Hello Aries, and welcome to the first of the month. It's now February of 2018 and I hope it's going wonderful for you so far. My name's Mindy. I'm going to be guiding you guys through a medicine wheel today. I once used to record these and start with the positions, but I think the positions will kind of speak for themselves, and I am going to skip right into the card pulls rather than the position of the cards as it will be. So let me give a quick shuffle here. As always, just like and subscribe while I'm going, and then we will get started. I've got 4 decks total. I'll start by getting some of these out of the way. So go ahead and make sure you're nice and comfortable, because these are going to go for, I'm hoping, about 20 minutes. We will see. So I'm going to start with this orange deck here. And I'm going to start in the center, which is just the center of you. And this is about a feminine retreat. So some of you may be taking a trip, traveling to go somewhere that is a little bit more relaxed than your normal average day that you've been living so far. And we'll come into that because that card can mean many things, and right in the center, the position can't speak for itself because it's just the center of you. So we'll get going here on the south side, and this lowest corner is all about the past. Perfect. So we got the south in the south position represented by the wolf. So I'm going to pull one other one just because we already know we're in the south. Okay, so let's get a clarifier on that one. And the east. Interesting. So, like I said, I'll get into these a little bit more, but the east shield is all about new beginnings. It's like the eagle and the sunrise. It's like, it reminds me of the number 1 just because it's so action-packed, and it's about having the clarity to move forward. And this one is about your relationships with people and overall living in community, trust factors, that type of thing. So let's get a couple more cards on the table and we'll start connecting some dots. So in this side over here, this is the space representing within. So going within yourself, kind of doing this retreat type energy. And let's see what you've been thinking about on a spiritual level here. Rhythm. This is the spirit drum. Sorry, I'm trying not to let it glare. But this is the spirit drum. It's about rhythms and your internal alarm clock, waking up when you know you should without really setting an alarm. You just kind of wake up on a Saturday and it's already going. So it's like that consistency. So that can mean a lot of things with this retreat right here. It can be on like a spiritual level. Taking a little bit more of a flow mindset of doing a little bit more creative, a little bit more constructive, but without the logistics part of it, without the overwhelm or anxiety, that type of thing. We want it to just flow like a beat of a song, you know, you get a beat going, and if you're like this, then your heartbeat is like this, and it's just not a good thing. So we want to come back to this retreat type energy where it's like, okay, this is my room. I call it the cuddle cave, and sometimes you just need to shut the door and turn on the Netflix or whatever it is that you want to do in your closed space and just let it flow, because we'll see as the beginnings get forward. Let's see what's up here, which is all about manifesting and your ability to create. And this is an arrow here, and it says truth as protection. So it looks to me like when it's up here, this is like your spirit realm message. And using the truth, I would say if there's an up-and-coming endeavor, and this is what this card will be, is the up-and-coming action step. So this can be your next step moving forward into March, or this can be, you know, if you've been asking yourself what to do next, what should I do, what should I do? That's where this will be. So we have healing. Okay, interesting. So I almost feel like, and this is a medicine bowl, they would grind the herbs down into the bowl. So I feel like the truth being up there so high, I feel like you are in charge of the truth, like you have almost like a spiritual truth. And I feel like it's very innocent. It doesn't feel masculine or like you're trying to shove anything, you know, down anyone's neck or anything like that. I just feel like the power is within the truth that you share. And so sharing your message and sharing a little bit of what's going on here, because I feel like there's action right after connection. And so let me grab the other decks to stay in order here. Okay, so this one is Spirit of the Wheel. I've got a flipper. Okay, so right in the center we have the South Shield again. So relationships are going to be kind of a big deal. This one is represented by the wolf and the puma, or wildcat, or mountain lion. That's what I'm looking for. And it's about growing through your events, the things that have happened in your past, and utilizing them kind of to your advantage. And that's what it means to learn your lesson. So it's about lessons, what you've learned about trust, what people have proven to you about trust. And so that's this same card as well. So we have that duplicated. All of my cards are Native American cards, and they do all 4 decks have the same meanings available. So it's really cool when they double up like that, because it just heightens that energy. So let's move down here into the past and see kind of what's going on. Maybe a relationship thing. Trust can be in all sorts of different endeavors, and this can be any time of your past. So it could have been in January or last year or childhood type past, just anything to do with the past. Let me get a good card here. Let's see. It's taking its time to show me which one it is. Okay, so interesting. I actually think we had this same card in the same position last month. It's Cancer energy, so it's the energy that Cancer illuminates. It's about social invitations, creative pursuits, and joy. Okay, so that makes sense. A little bit more of a pack type energy, and then this retreat. I'm feeling like it's a good idea to connect to others of a like mind, because Cancers are very soft energy. I really like that these are babies. They're just cute little baby animals, and for the most part that is very much the energy of Cancer. They're just really sweet. They go with the flow, and a little bit more of this energy here, which is a little bit more water-esque, earthy, and it kind of calms down the Aries fire a little bit. So I feel like there's a lot of gentleness down here. It doesn't feel like anything's necessarily up in upheaval or anything, or there's something going on in the past. I just feel, well, it's illumination coming to this group setting. I feel the group setting for sure. Let's see what goes on within, and we'll move. We'll come back. We go around the circle several times. So we're going to illuminate more on this drum energy, the rhythm, and the come and go. It's like the breath, the in and out of the breath on a very, like, rhythmic, and that, oh my heavens. Okay. So we got the East again. Of course. I'm so sorry. I hope you guys can see my cards. Alright, there we go. Illumination and clarity. So it's the eagle again. He flies really high up and disappears above the skyline. And so his medicine is a messenger. So I feel like that's a little bit more the energy we're dealing with rather than new beginning. So it's divine communication, spiritual knowing, and inner light is all about the East, which is, like I said, the sunrise. It can be a new endeavor. I just find it so interesting. We have southeast, southeast. So very cool. Let's go up to the top there, which is all about the spiritual connection and moving higher with your mind and doing some astral projection type stuff and connecting to the stars, meditation, that type of thing. Spiritual connectedness. And we have the West. I should just probably take directions out of the deck, but it does serve a really amazing meaning. This one, the Spirit of the West, is about hibernation. It's a little bit more of this retreat energy. that's over here with like the rhythmic energy there. So it's very calm. It's very like a good head on their shoulders as they're creating. So I like that this one says creative dreams up there, because this right here is where we go to create our ideas. So we learn our lessons, we retreat into the cave and hibernate as the bear would on our dreams and creativity, and then we typically illuminate it over here, and that's how the medicine wheel flows. And now you have all of these directions in opposite places. So we'll just go over that for a second. So the south is fine because that's where it needs to be. Then we have this illumination, which is like shining a spotlight on something in this realm, which might have to do with social interactions of like a group setting. So that doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything bad going on. It just might mean you are in a position right now to be meeting a lot more new people, to be expanding your reach maybe online, or just a communication on kind of a large scale, whether it be illuminating a really big aha moment, like you'll just be like, oh my gosh, I finally get to know that. In a closure type situation, because it looks like the south in relationships and that whole trust factor is really predominant. So we will see. Let's move forward into the active next step space, and that's where we have healing. So let's see what's going on with that, because with the truth being up there, and I feel like this is almost you, like shining an arrow right straight up into the sky and being ready to share your truth is kind of how I feel. So let's look into the action, because this might be like a business endeavor. And we have the Aries card. So they put them by these moons. They call it the budding moon or something or another. But it's a little bit more of the... Aries to me is like the sunrise or the first sign of the zodiac. And we have more of these wings coming in. So it says expectation, process, and goals. Okay, so maybe something is just not happening as quickly as you would like it. Sorry, I'm going to fix this light like once and for all. My bad, everybody. Okay, I hope you can still see the table, but I'll show them. I'd rather show the cards than not. Goodness. Alright, well you can see here that they are winged creatures. And so it's illumination, and it's also about biding your time. It doesn't really help much to sit and watch tree leaves decompose in order for the flowers to grow in the spring, so you can decide to, you know, sit and watch these amazing things unfold, or you can go and have fun and enjoy yourself and be creative and be doing the things you want to be doing as your little flower blooms. So it's just kind of a lesson in patience, just with this rhythmic energy and then with this goals set energy, because Aries have a tendency to be a little bit tunnel vision at times, and let the left brain kind of get in the way because it's a fire sign. So it's hard not to get a little bit too like analysis paralysis and push those goals forward type of a thing. And this is just saying like your creativity, your lessons that you've learned. So journaling would be really nice, just to do kind of a recon a little bit of how far you've come, what you've learned, and it's just anything. It's anything that you've experienced that helps you now is a really good growth experience. So yeah, under the deck, I just decided to look under the deck, and it's east again with the birds. So illumination, definitely, and that's as far as clarity, like new things coming in, but this one says new beginnings, thought process, and inspiration. So it is that Aries energy, just kind of duplicated right here. So it's a lot of fire going on, a lot of sunlight, a lot of masculine type energy. So it might be really beneficial. Well, I'm telling you, it is going to be really beneficial to be doing a little bit more earthy stuff and watery stuff, because it's just needing that grounding, which has just kind of been collective for 2018. You can watch the January reading for a little bit more of that, like collective messages for the year, but we'll get some animals to kind of clarify what's going on the table here. because it looks like a lot of forward movement with the east and the clarity and all of these wings. It's like you're ready to fly, and then we have healing here. So I'm almost thinking, because it's as creative as it is and the rhythm doesn't feel like an issue so much, it's just don't forget to tap into this here where you get in a rhythm of activating your right brain and your creativity, because that's where your dreams and these new beginnings are coming from. They're coming from, you know, psychic abilities and being able to connect to higher realms and be able to just know what to do next. So that might be a little bit of what's going on here. But, okay, so I just shuffled, but this is the turkey. So he's, you know, the main object of Thanksgiving. And their medicine is just kind of use every part. You know, you don't want to waste anything. And their medicine is that of kind of the same as a buffalo, because they give themselves willingly. It's this whole idea of, because there's just two meanings to the card. So this one being the giveaway, it would be like if you as a child only had one single doll and you gave that doll away, what would that teach you about being grateful and having an overall gratitude outlook? Kind of like that outlook of Thanksgiving. Does that make sense? So I hope that that depiction worked, because some of these are hard. They have like little bugs as some of the medicine cards and that type of thing. So this is being free to give, giving freely and giving thanks freely and being energetically flowing. And then at the bottom of the deck here, since I just flashed it, we'll use it as well. This is creation, and it's one of my favorites because the spider does not utilize any other materials other than what comes out of him or her. So a lot of creation going on, a lot of really good energy behind you. Like you've got all of these like wind under the wings type of thing. And the cool thing about these wolves is that they can be extremely cunning, and same with the big cat. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with mountain lion, but I'm thinking of it. It's just about knowing when to be keen with your senses and when to give away freely. So it's something that you can control and just say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. Okay, I'm not going to be available after this time. And like, don't hold on to the guilt for it, because everyone deserves to have their night off and do their retreat work. And actually, it looks like create some pretty big dreams, if I had to guess. We'll come back to this healing energy, because I'm not sure if that's you or maybe offering it to others. I almost feel like with the strength cards here and how high you're soaring, I can't really imagine that in your action space you would be going back into more of a healing thing, but these line up pretty perfectly as far as understanding your growth and lessons, giving and receiving in an open manner, like the Thanksgiving aspect, like idea, and then these connect pretty well. So let's look in the south here and see what's going on with this past group type energy, which might just be building trust, because it's like you're making the connections and the connections have been made, and that's a really good sign, because connections need to be made. We're human. So we have the elk, which is stamina. So the elk will run and run and run, but it's more of a speed walk, and they never get outrun. Like even mountain lions can't really catch them just because they have such long legs and they're stealthy. So I wouldn't say this feels stagnant. It's not like this is stagnant energy, but it's more that Cancer energy where it kind of just has to flow. So you kind of just have to roll with the punches, and it leads right here into the rhythm card, and so that matches up pretty perfectly. So you've learned your lessons. The illumination maybe has already happened because it's showing up so many times. It's like the spotlight is on, if that makes sense, and it looks to me like it's time to rock and roll. Just don't forget about your creativity being the source. And let's go into the west here. And again, this place is going to be the inward space of within. So we had the timing with the drum, and then we had illumination, spirit of the east, and then this one is east, just east. So I'll get the whole sections all set up so you guys can see better. That's a downside to having a really big spread. So, oh goodness. Okay, hold on. All right, interesting. So these two popped out, and they're right here with the drum. We'll do this. So, firstly, we had the drum and the east. So rhythm and patience came out right before the drum. So I'm thinking that patience is a really, really big emphasis, especially with all of the wings we have, because the wings just take right off from there, and they're just like, let's soar. So interesting that these two flew out, because they are similar energies. There it is. They are similar energies. The owl is all about being able to reel his head around 365 degrees or 180 degrees, and he can see within and without, right? He has this ability to just see things. And then the lynx kind of has the same aspect of like the ocelot in one of my other decks, which is all about they walk up so high on the trees that they come down with sunspots, right? So this little guy is like a desert being and he's on the ground a lot, but then they climb and come back with spots. So the lynx are very well known for keeping secrets, and all of the big cats are a little bit more cunning, a little bit more... It's just a mystery aspect. I don't feel like there's any deception really going on here. The owl is the ability to see through bullshit, and then this right here is the truth. So we will see what evolves there, because it seems like some swooping in energy there. Let's see. So we'll go up to that top side, which is all about abundance and manifestation, law of attraction, meditation, crystal work, stuff that connects you to other realms and helps you to travel, essentially, is up here. And we have the salmon. Okay, so let me grab all of these again so we can look at all of them. And so the first one was the arrow, which is all about truth. And to me, that was, you have all of the truth. You've been learning your lessons. You've been amping it up. And the best thing to do is go inside yourself, into that cuddle cave or retreat space, and be concentrating on your dreams. And the next one is about inner knowing. So the salmon isn't really sure why they have to take the tough route and go upstream, but everyone's doing it, so they just do it. And now it's in their DNA, right, to go upstream. So it's a little bit more of this owl energy, because owls have that ability to just know kind of everything. And then, so is the eagle too. It's like a blast open of the mind. Pretty crazy, intense energies, actually. So we'll go over here to the action step, and we'll see what the healing is all about right here with all of this forward movement with the Aries and the sunrise, and we've got more eagles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 eagles and owls. So that's pretty nuts. Let's see what comes out for the action step, and then we'll go to the next deck. Okay, so then we have a fox. Oh my gosh. So kind of the same thing, where it's like a lurky type energy. Very interesting. That's camouflage, so going kind of undercover a little bit. Well, that's interesting, 'cause I don't like these all together. Unless, of course, I would put it to, like, having a little bit of mystery to keep a little bit to the unknown. We'll look into that, because I'm not sure about this relationship illumination stuff, because it says to just keep going, but the healing needs to be done, possibly. or there just needs to be a little bit of strategy around what it is you're doing. It just depends on whether or not you are looking for a relationship reading or a career reading, which way this is going to go. So a personal reading is a little bit more beneficial in that aspect, so then I can illuminate further on what subject comes up when I say certain things. So everything has to be taken with a grain of salt, so I'm not going to say there's any like cheating or anything going on. I feel like if there was, you would just know about it, because you can tell, you know, by looking at somebody what they're thinking or whatever. So let's get another one in the middle. So this one is an Amazonian deck. It is a little bit like runes. They're just tiny. So this one popped out and it's the alligator. So the alligator is all about moving between the earth and the water. They have kind of like a healing energy around them. They're camouflaged as well, drastically, and they, let's see. Okay. Oop, we got another flip. Okay. So this one's the eagle. Again with the eagle. Oh my gosh. So same meaning there, and that's down here in the south side. So yeah, I've got 4 decks, and some of them come out as doubles. So the eagle, again, interesting. It's almost about like seeing the future in a way. Let me get the other ones on the table, and then we'll do like a final recap. So then we're moving over to the rhythmic side, which is very like feminine retreat, where there's some, I think it's just higher knowing, because we have the truth there. And even though some of these energies look a little bit dark, I really don't feel like there's deception going on in the midst of going skyward towards crystals and manifestation energy and connecting to other realms. You know, the ability to see comes through to be a lot stronger than like some sort of undermining. So we will see. But yeah, schedule a reading if you feel worried. But here is, it's so dark. He is just a little frog in the sky. Kind of cute, right? So he's a celestial toad, and he is all about creation energy. So kind of again here. Okay, that makes sense. See, it's like he's in space, and so he can see forever and ever, and there's no cap on what he can do or what he can see. And that's right here with this truth card. So it's like this acute ability to see. And so that's what I'm going with this whole deception energy. I just feel like the secret part is trying not to be the enlightened one, or, you know, going too far and to say, hey, I'm coming in here to help you, so you need my services, or like saying, don't you love this crystal, but in a way that feels, I don't know, maybe like swooping in a little bit too high energy can be sometimes put off. So over advertising, doing too much like social media, maybe with all this soaring high, it's like, look what I'm doing, look what I'm doing, I'm going to manifest and I'm going to do this plan. And this is saying, keep some of it, because we've got them mirroring each other here. So this is moving forward, and it's saying camouflage, and these ones are saying within yourself, between you and other realms, just know that you can see and that these are your gifts. And when you're talking to friends, family, whatever, be a little bit just strategic in how you give your information that you know. I know that sounds a little overboard, but it's true, because you're obviously learning your lessons and moving forward. There's absolutely no doubt. It's just saying your gifts are so sky high that it might put other people off. So if ever that happens to where your inner knowing and your ability to see doesn't get a little bit too Aries mode, when it's like this eyeball like looking at you and into your soul. So be very open and inviting when it comes to others, because this little baby energy is what's needed in the relationships whether it be group or client or whatever it may be. Keep it very lighthearted and kind, and that's with everything, because I just feel like there's a lot of creation going on, so other people might be kind of like shaken by it, and not everyone is ready to hear everything coming from your dreams, and this world just happens to have a lot of naysayers, so it's very strategic to keep a little bit of that under wraps and be like, oh yes, I know this, wouldn't you like to know, type of a vibe. And that's what I feel, because we have inner knowing up here, and all of that put together is super strong energy. So then we have the temple, and that's with this moving forward energy. So it's not a maze. Looking forward in yourself, what it wants you to see is the jewels and how precious the jewels are. I'm floating around, but yeah, it looks almost like a maze, but it is not. It's a temple, and the jewels are inside. And so I really like that this came out, because we have this bear energy here, which is kind of the same as this one, because it's the bear hibernating and doing the things that he or she wants to do and not feeling bad about it in any kind of a guilt sense. And this is the temple, and it's saying find the jewels within your own temple and reward them. Like, those are your reward to have with you, and it's like yours to keep. So harness it. And it's kind of hard to do. I'm a spiritual transformation consultant or coach, and so if you have any questions on harnessing energy or making energy balls or like protection, that type of thing, reach out to me. That's what I do. You can comment on this video if you'd like. I do have one more card, but just saying if you're having issues with it, because we've got the healing, temple, west, retreat, rhythm. So, and this kind of flows throughout the reading, and we have stamina here, and we have the Cancer energy there. And then we have birds. So it's just a matter of balance and stamina and getting your own personal rhythm with you that makes sense to you. And then we've got 2 jumpers to be here at the final place of moving forward. We have the condor. Cool. So we have the condor, and we have ancestors. I'm so sorry, you guys. Let me see how to... Okay. There is the condor. He is a bird that spans about 18 feet wide and eats on the dead. So he takes this with a badge of honor. He didn't get punished to take out all of the muck and the compost, if you will, of the dead. He volunteered for it. So he actually is very highly revered, and he got to be really, really big because he swore not to take victims or prey. He decided to eat on or eat from the dead energy. So let me pause for a second, because yeah, with this I want to just take all the cards, but the South is all about that. It's like the innocence, the inner child, past relationships, past harms, past victories, just stuff that's happened. Utilize them for your best ability like he would, because this guy, you know, really tries to waste nothing, and he looks for all of the small pieces where other animals like the wolf would just take the whole quarter. You know, he has what's left, and he decided that in a very generous, giving type of way, kind of like our friend the turkey here. And so kind of similar energy, but kind of opposite, right? So he doesn't get eaten, but he eats the scraps. Moving on. So then these ones here, these little like purple heads coming around, this actually stands for guides or ancestors or advisors or mentors. So the very last message here is, in order to kind of recycle your experiences, your love, your passion, your creation, creativity, your dreams, they're all flowing through you and flowing out of you. Just be very strategic with how you release it, and release it kind of in sections, or release it in ways that feel like steps, almost. Like, you just don't want to give it all at once and just give your entire pitch to somebody, because then, you know, they will view all of it and they will say yes or no. Where if you say, oh, here's a taste test of what I know, of what I'm going to share, of what my dream is, of what my creativity presents, or what I know from what I found out or whatever, then it's all out on the table and it's all one lump sum. Whereas if you take it in sections, you can actually find out more and broaden your reach because of how you go about finding things out. So take that as well with a grain of salt. I really hope that there's nothing, you know, hurting anybody or anything like that as far as the relationship illumination goes, because it's like, again, a flashlight on whatever it is that needs to be brought to the light. So I hope that helped. There is one way to work with me right now, and I am doing a group program for my mindset clients, and so this ties right into that. I start 2/18 of 2018 doing the group program, which is going to incorporate this 7 directions, 7 chakras, everything from yin and yang and Taoism and Buddhism, Hindu type stuff, and then take together as well zodiac things and different tarot cards that I use and the Celtic kind of aspect, and then these Native American cards as well, and the things that I know from my Native American area, and I lumped them all together into a common denominator of all of the things that I feel like I know and I want to share. So I am having a group program where we can harness these abilities, where we can decide the cunning camouflage type flow that we're looking for here, and to really balance these out, harness the creativity, harness all of this inner knowing and higher knowledge together, and whatever this healing is that's going on, relationships that are going on,